So for those of you all who don't know, an Afro Latina is just a black person who happens to be from Latin America. The same way I am an Afro American, I'm a black person who happens to be from America, okay? So this person made a post and they said, oh, something I'm not afraid to admit as an Afro Latina. And this was the picture that they had posted in the background of said post, right? So I was like, okay, hold up. I know my eyes must be deceiving me because there's not an Afro in sight up in the premises, okay? So I was like, let me go look at this person's page because, like, clearly I'm missing something, right? So I'm going to show you a picture of this person, okay, up close and personal. We're going to have a detailed talk about this rebranding of blackness because what is this shit? Y'all be having me confused enough when somebody does something like this and they're at least biracial, you know what I'm saying? At least they have black. Now, if you biracial, of course, you are not an Afro Latina, you are not an African American. How could you be an Afro anything when you have a non-black parent? Like, be so expeditiously for real with yourself, right? So y'all be having me confused enough when y'all be referring to biracials as Afro whatever or black people or whatever, right? But it's like, okay, at least you not just completely off in la la land, right? Like, now clearly biracials are not black, but at least it's like, okay, the person is half black, so you rooted in at least a little tiny bit of reality somewhat, right? But then when it be somebody like this who is just like, what is this? What is going on? And folks are calling this individual black, or this person has managed to delude themselves into believing that they're black. It's just like, what? Like, I gotta be in the twilight zone because there's no way that this individual is black. There's absolutely no way at all. This is the thing, right? We got to get to the root cause of the issue here, okay? Half of the issue is that these people don't respect black people, clearly, okay? Because somebody like this will call themselves an Afro Latina, and I'll be like, what? You know? And they'll say, oh, well, I'm not white, okay? And, right, they'll sit there and say, oh, white people don't accept me as white. All right? Like, so you're telling me because white people don't accept you as white, you think that make you black? Like, huh? And then I'm confused because they won't argue with white people. If a white person say they're not white, they say, oh, yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry for overstepping my boundaries. I'm so sorry. I apologize so much, right? But then when black people say, you're not black, right? Then suddenly it's shut your black ass up. How you going to tell me who black and who not? So, yada, yada, yada. Like, wouldn't it be so confusing? Because these people be closer to being white than they are to being black. Like, look at this person. She looked more like a white person than she looked like a black person, right? But y'all to sit here and pretend that, oh yeah, white people are okay and not embracing her, even though she off-white her damn self, right? But black people don't have the right to not embrace her, okay? So that's the first thing, right? The first thing is that you all don't respect black people, okay? Because that's the fact. Y'all don't respect us. Y'all don't respect any boundaries that we put up, right? But the other issue is the fact that black people do not stand on business. We do not, as a whole, okay, because this don't apply to me, but I'm speaking on black people as a whole, right? As a whole, we don't make these people respect us, because something I say in real life all the time is people going to treat you how you allow them to treat you, okay? Let me give y'all an example. In fact, my friend just told me a story about this, and it was just appalling to me, okay? And this story highlights people gonna do what you let them do, okay? So let's just come up with two random names, okay, for two of her coworkers. This happened while she was at work. Let's call one of them Brittany and let's call one of them Michelle, okay? So at work, Brittany got up in Michelle's face going off on her. I don't know if she was yelling or cussing or a combination of both. I don't know, right? But my thing is this. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm about to be 28 years old. So I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, I would have just immediately slapped the shit out that bitch, so-and-so and so. I'm too grown for that. I'm going to get charges pressed against me, so-and-so and so, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, okay, a couple years ago when I was younger, yeah, sure, I might have just smacked the bitch the fuck down. But at this point, I would have been like, okay, hold up, bitch. Back the fuck up. Get the fuck out of my face. Because first of all, if you within arm's reach of me, I might knock your ass the fuck out. Okay, so first of all, get from by me, right? And then second of all, act like you got some sense, even if you don't, bitch. You better find a way to pretend that you do, because don't fucking play with me, right? So first of all, I was like, okay, wait, who did I say? Who did I name them? I think I said Brittany got up in Monique's face. Okay, that's how I'm gonna name it for now. Okay, so I asked my friend, I'm like, okay, so did Monique gather her the fuck up? Because what? My friend like, no, Monique talk about she already got anxiety. She don't want to go to work tomorrow, so and so and so. I said, well, shit, well, damn, when she come to work tomorrow, guess what? Brittany gonna get back the fuck up in her face because she didn't want to. Monique didn't do nothing about it, so now she knows she can do it again. And would you believe that Monique texted my friend and she was like, Brittany just texted me. She's still going off of me, so and so and so. Girl, any fucking way. Like, my point is this though. I really doubt that this situation would even like begin to occur. I really doubt that somebody like Brittany would even approach me with this bullshit because again, people do what you let them do, and most people they can tell that I'm not fucking playing with them, right? But let's pretend that it did occur, okay? Soon as Brittany came at me crazy, that would have been checked. We would have got that the fuck together immediately. That bitch would have never said shit to me ever again, and she would know way more than motherfucking better than to text me that bullshit, right? But my point is this though. People gonna do what you let them do. Let me get back to my conversation about black people, okay? Black people let these people play in our faces. Like, honestly, as a whole, black people as a whole let these people play in our faces, so they play in our faces. Let me get deeper into the concept of black people allowing these people to play in our faces though, okay? Because like I said, half of the issue is that these people play in our faces, half of the issue is that we let them know, right? And let's get deeper into the issue of why though, like what is going on. I honestly think that a lot of black people have some trauma from slavery. And hold up, let me say something real quick, just as a quick little aside, okay? Because there's all these talks about epigenetics, right? How you can have all these epigenetic changes, and they always study this stuff as it pertains to some sort of trauma. So for example, transatlantic slavery, but not just transatlantic slavery, right? It could be somebody who was a prisoner of war, somebody who was a victim of sexual assault, any of that, right? So they always study these, these epigenetic changes as they pertain to trauma responses, right? But this is the thing, they only ever study the victims. So in the case of transatlantic slavery, they only really studying the African Americans. They not studying the white people, right? In the case of, prisoners of war or something, they only studying the person who was a prisoner of war. They not studying the people who were the guards torturing them, right? And I'm saying that for a reason. Because when these studies come out, they'll sit here and they'll tell us, oh yeah, all these traumatic epigenetic responses are, in black people's DNA, so, yada, 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 right? But nobody ever will sit there and say, okay, but what about the descendants of the enslavers, right? So you sitting here, you telling me that as a descendant of somebody who was enslaved, I have all these trauma responses and X, Y, Z and blah, 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 right? But the descendants of the enslavers, they ain't got nothing going on, like the math not mathing, right? But I'm saying that because I'm getting to that epigenetics thing, right? I think that a lot of black people have like a trauma thing from slavery, and a lot of non-black people also have trauma things from slavery and colonization and stuff, because I swear a lot of people are still playing into this slave and slave master role. You see a lot of black people, oh, well, master said the one drop rule, what master says goes. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, what? There has been so many times where I have called out, something like this and said, oh, this person is not black. And black people will respond to me and say, oh, well, master said they black. The one drop rule, boss said that one drop of black make you a dirty nigga, so they's a nigga. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, are you kidding me? You gotta be out of your mind. There's no fucking way, right? But again, I swear a lot of people are still playing these roles of slave and slave master. So it's a lot of black people out here who they like, oh, well, that person's non-black. Oh, well, what they said goes, buddy. Like, I swear before God, right? That's part of it. But then also, I feel like the other part, and I mentioned this before, is the inferiority complex that a lot of black people have. Because we live in we live in a white supremacist world, a world that is very anti-black, right? We grow up being told that everything that makes us black is inferior. Like, take a second to be for real. There is no positive stereotype about black people. That's why, as a black person, when other groups of non-white people are complaining about stereotypes, I cannot take it seriously. Like, Asians be sitting there, oh my god, people think that I'm smart. Are you fucking kidding me? And I remember I said that in graduate school, because I think I was at the training to be a teaching assistant, right? So we had to do like diversity training. First of all, I was like, I'm black, I really don't need to fucking be here. Like, diversity training is for the rest of y'all, okay? But whatever. Okay, so we there, and somehow we got to talking about stereotypes, and it was an Asian person complaining about the model minority stereotype. Oh golly gee, people insist that I'm smart. And I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot take this seriously, because baby, I'm black. I'm black. Can somebody tell me a positive stereotype about black people? Because there isn't one. Like, there is not one. I guess the only positive stereotype I can think of, people think that black men have big XYZs, right? But it's like, even with that is still rooted in the sexualization of black people. So, I mean, it's still, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't take it as a compliment. But, okay, let's pretend that that's the positive stereotype for us. That does not pertain to me, okay? So, it's like, come on now. As somebody who every stereotype is negative, I just cannot take it seriously when Asians are like, hey, what was me? Hey, people think I'm smart. People think I'm good at math. Congratulations. People think I'm a baby mama on welfare, a fucking crack addict on Section 8. People think that I'm stupid as fuck. Like, nobody thinks anything good about black people, right? And we grow up in this world where we're indoctrinated with these negative images of us. And because of that, a lot of black people grow up and they internalize this shit. They end up really believing that black people are stupid and ugly and XYZ, because the world is constantly bombarding us with that idea. So you cannot be surprised that there are black people who are pressed to accept non-black people as black, because they've been so thoroughly indoctrinated with this ideology that blackness is inferior. Because look at me, take a good look at me. This is how blackness looks, whether you like it or not, right? And a lot of people don't like it because, again, we live in this white supremacist world that tells us that dark skin is ugly, big lips are ugly, wide features are ugly, etc., 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 right? So these people turn around and they become obsessed with non-blackness. So they'll sit here and pretend that this individual is an Afro Latina because that's how they wish blackness looked. That's really what it boils down to. Be fucking for real. Let's really like put ourselves in, like a scenario real quick. Imagine you sitting there minding your business and this person comes up to you and is like, hey, what's up, my negra? Do you really expect me to believe you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's an Afro Latina, that's one of my sisters and brothers from across the way? That's what you're telling me? Be fucking for real. Y'all know good and well these people don't be black. I don't know why y'all be playing in my face like this.